Hey guys, welcome to the Hey DJ Show. I'm your host, DJ Jimenez. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're over on YouTube, please go and hit that like button, subscribe for more content. Remember, you can catch this wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. And do consider following me on every social media platform at Hey DJ Show. With all that boring stuff out of the way, I'm happy to introduce my next guest, Tristen Harwell. Tristan, how are you, man?
What's going on, dude? How's it going?
Good, man. Like you're so chill. Like, I'm no disrespect to any of my other guests, but you're like the most chill guest I've had.
Yeah.
Like I've had just because no one has done this in my group of friends and stuff like that, and it's all good. It's nothing to it. But most of them I have to kind of prep before the show. They're like a little bit nervous. You were just like, all right, let's do it. Let's get to it. Let me get some water.
I don't know if I have the energy to be nervous. Been
I like
the
that
hangover all morning.
So,
that's good.
No,
That's good to see you.
Yeah, no, I vibe with that. Like, I don't have the energy to be nervous. If anything, I'm good, like happy nervous, just excited about doing something. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's cool. Like, I think the first one that I really saw you doing was with Roberto.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, dude, like that's sick. We were just talking about, you getting your podcast together and just getting it done, doing it.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Why not? Yeah, that's nothing to it. Not to say like mine's like the greatest or anything. It's just starting out.
No. It's the greatest. Let's be honest.
It's the greatest. It's the greatest.
You gotta have the confidence. Like, you have the best podcast in the world.
Like, I am proud of it for sure. Like I am like really excited because I'm not tech savvy. I'm not super creative. The fact that I was able to pull this off is nothing short of a miracle. So it's freaking awesome. And now everything's ready. Like, I don't really move the equipment or anything. Now all it is I invite the person, walk through on what to do a little bit, and show them where they sit. That's it. And then hit record. That's it.
Yeah, you're just like you're comfortable with it now.
Yeah.
Because this is episode 18.
Episode 18. Don't watch episode 1 through 3. Like, those are trash.
Those are like just you, right?
Yeah. Those are trash. Like, I could fully admit that. The thing, I want to delete them so bad.
Don't delete them.
I know. The reason why I'm not going to delete them is because if for whatever reason this blows up and I get big, right? I want people to go back to see it and because one of the biggest turnoffs in anything creative, not necessarily just creative, but anything in life, is that people are too scared to try and mess up. Episode 1 through 3 for me, even still in the beginning of the interviews, I was trash. I was still learning. You need to put yourself out there for people to see your mistakes and to show that, like, your episode 1, everybody wants their first attempt to be perfect.
I think that's where people get really nervous about it.
Yeah.
They don't, like, if it's not going to be great immediately, then they don't want to do it.
Yeah.
They just feel like it's going to be a failure. Like, it's weird because people don't want to work on things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's something that's really becoming a problem. Like, people don't want to work on things unless it's going to be perfect or amazing. Because especially with, God, all the social media and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everything everybody sees is always like a perfect version of what's going on.
Yeah.
So you just see that all the time, and people want things to be perfect, but it's not like nothing is perfect,
No,
like,
and that's the thing with some people. Like, I just started off, and you can easily compare me to all these like big YouTubers that have like a big budget and like a professional studio now. And me, I'm making do with this room that I have. But I'm doing the best I have, like what's available to me. And some people look at like, oh, well, because I can't afford that, I don't want to start. And yeah, that's a little bit of that where it's like, oh, well, if I don't have this super expensive camera, then I'm not even going to. Once I get this expensive camera,
right,
then I'll start. yet they have an iPhone or an Android phone. They can start right now. And like for some people wondering, like how you were wondering, what camera am I using? I'm using an iPhone, people. 2 iPhones.
That's it.
This is it. And
well, I
this
mean,
is the
you got like,
quality.
I mean, especially with TikTok now,
Mhm.
like people have, I think, I don't do a lot of research.
Yeah.
But like you see videos on TikTok and people have like their podcasts or like their interviews, and it's literally on a phone.
It's
Like
their
that's
phone.
it.
Even just their TikTok that goes viral 10 seconds and stuff, it's their phone.
Yeah, I mean that's all you need. You know, just
That's all you need.
like you said, it's a camera, microphone, people. Like that's
it.
what it is. And I mean, I've watched a couple of your episodes, and
Mhm.
I mean, it's good. Like it's
Yeah.
not like you
It's
don't
a
need like a
start.
$10,000 camera, and
Yeah.
like the production quality is good. Like it looks good on the cameras. The mics are like you just invested a little bit, but what you have does really well.
Yeah. Um one of my biggest fans, Brad, shout out to you, Brad. I was hanging out with him the other day, the other week, and he told me he was like amazed by the production value, and he was like, dude, it looks so, professional and stuff. And it was just from the little tidbit help that I got from some of my friends in the past that went to school for film and stuff, like how to light a room, how to set up a tripod, the 180 rule, little things like that helped me set this up. But I would never have known like where I messed up or what needs improvement unless you start. One of my favorite stories, real quick, is my episode 0 and 1. I had this table actually before I invested in this long table, and it's a short little square table. I did like episode 1, and then my buddy Brady comes up to me and at work, and he's like, "Hey man, episode 1 was great. I just have one critique." And I said, "Yeah, sure. What's up?" And he was like, "You need a longer table." And he was completely right, but I never would have known that unless I started. I keep telling this story, and I will always tell the story. It's my favorite. Until you start, you don't know what needs improvement until you start. And then because like I didn't think I needed a longer table, and it took an outside set of eyes to be able to be like, hey, you need to improve on this. And sometimes you take their word and with a grain of salt, and you're like, maybe whatever. But you don't know what needs to be improved on until you freaking start with not just with podcasts, with anything in life. This is kind of a good segue. You do these like strongman competitions. Is it called strongman?
Yeah, it's called
Okay.
Strongman.
You do these things. I'm pretty sure you've done like something like squats in somewhat of a bad form, and then you realize, okay, I need to do it properly in order to maximize the potential, and or something like that. So I'll let you speak on that. So talk a little bit about strongman competitions.
Well, you're close there, except
Okay.
I do everything perfect all the time. So it's not a problem.
There you go.
No, dude, gosh. I mean, like you're saying, with starting and you have to know what to work on, and you have to start to be able to do that. And I mean, we've known each other for a while
Since
now.
hie school, man.
Yeah, freshman year, whatever.
Dude, let me just add, holy shit, man. You are huge in a good way, because you were a skinny motherfucker in high school.
We were doing theater together.
You were one skinny twig, man. And I remember I worked at O'Charlie's.
Yeah.
And then one day you came in with your girlfriend, now wife, and you were like huge, and I was just like, I'm sorry, what are you doing? And then you were like, rugby. And I'm like, rugby? You're like, rugby. Do you still do rugby?
Actually, yes. I'm doing rugby now. I've taken a break off of strongman, and I'm playing rugby again. I played rugby for like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And there's a new league starting up, the North American Rugby League. And so there's like, with rugby, there's 2 big styles. So you have like rugby union, which, like, if you've seen like the Olympics, is like a shortened version of rugby union.
Yeah.
Where they have the scrums and lineouts where they lift people up in the air.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. And then there's rugby league, which, I mean, it's pretty much the same game, but you have a set of 6 downs. You don't do the lineouts, the throw-ins when the ball goes out of bounds. So it's the same game, just a few differences.
Mm-hmm.
So Atlanta has a rugby league team, and we're starting up in the North American Rugby League in 2022. So that's like a professional rugby league.
Yeah. Hell
It's
yeah.
weird to call it a league, but it's called rugby league.
Yeah. It's just a name.
I'm like, why is... Let's call it something else.
Yeah.
But so that's starting up next year. Like, we've had a couple games, little friendlies this year. We played Delaware, North Carolina. A couple weeks ago, we went up to Cleveland and played the Cleveland Rugby League.
Wow.
So it's gonna be a lot of fun. But I definitely like getting into rugby early. Definitely helped, like doing strongman and just, gosh, I don't think I worked out for a year in high school, but I did. All I did was play rugby. I went back into the gym and like my squat went up like 100 pounds. Like, it was,
holy shit.
I'm not lying. Like, it was like, it
No,
went
I
from
believe
like,
it.
it went from like 285 to 365, and all I did was play rugby.
Mm.
Like, it's intense. So it's been a fun last 10 years with it.
Damn.
So, but we're talking about strongman. So my dad did strongman when I was a kid. So I grew up with it, you know, and my dad is 6'6", and like, you know, like you tell kids, oh, I think my dad can beat up your dad. I'm like, wow, you guys haven't seen my dad. This guy's huge, and he's like flipping tires and squatting, carrying the giant, crazy heavy things. And all I wanted when I was a kid was to like work out with him and be big and strong like my dad and everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get into it until I lived up in Boston. And there was a strongman gym in Boston that my dad had actually gone to way back when I was a baby for a big strongman seminar. There's a guy that came in from Norway and was doing a seminar there, and he went up to that gym, and he's been following them ever since. So when I moved up to Boston, he was like, you should go check it out.
You moved to Boston after high school?
Yes. Right after high school, because I was at North Cobb, and then I transferred over to Alatoona, did like a year at Chat Tech with dual enrollment, graduated from Alatoona, and then how long was it after I graduated? It wasn't I graduated 2015, and then fall 2016, I went and played rugby in Sydney for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then I came back, worked here for, I think it was 2018 is when I moved up to Boston. So 3 years after high school, it was a massage job that I had down here that I went up there to do, and so I still played rugby up there, but then on our break, because Boston is a great city.
Yeah.
But you get like 2 good months out of the year.
Really?
Yeah, like where it's like
cold.
You want to be outside and it's nice and beautiful. Like you get like maybe 2 good months. Everything else, it's like, God, at least 8 months is just frigid.
Yeah.
It's awful. So we start our season when that happens. And so then during like December, January, February, March, we don't play at all because it's like you can't.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
So during that time is when I got into strongman.
Okay.
I was like, well, there's this gym. Like, I'm in the off season. I want to stay strong. I don't want to do anything. So I started training, and oh man, I love that gym. It was just one of those hardcore, like mostly power lifters.
Yeah.
But it was just like you get in there, you get shit done, and you get the consistency. You get to know everybody. Everybody pushes you. You know, you don't want to not show up because they're gonna be like, "What the hell are you doing?
Where were you?"
Yeah. Yeah, what are you doing? Why haven't you been here?
That's a good fucking gym. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like it's the accountability from everybody's great. So I trained. I was just messing around with it, like putting strongman implements in place of like my normal exercises, workouts. So instead of just doing military press, I was starting to do log presses. And I look back on those videos when I first started, and I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this is ugly, man. I'm like, there's a pro strongman at this gym. Why wasn't he correcting me? Like, what? Like, it was so ugly, you know, go back.
He was
and
a
look
fortune
at this.
teller. He was
when
like,
and when it's crazy because it would work. Like, it's like those newbie games, you know, like it was work, but I had no clue what I was doing. It's just like, well, get it from the floor to your chest to overhead. Figure it out.
It feels like it's working.
Yeah, like nothing broke. I'm pretty sure. Like, so I was doing that, and, I talked to my dad. He's like, "Oh, that's awesome! Like, when are you doing a contest?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, man. Like, why would I? Like, I'm not that strong.
Yeah,
like, I don't want to do all that and like embarrass myself." So I ended up looking around the area, and there was one up in New Hampshire. It was February, and it was like 6 weeks out. And normally people take 3-4 months to train for a contest. So it was like 6 weeks. We can do this.
Hey, that's what's up.
Oh man. So, and all of my training, all my information I got was all from the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do you guys do? Like, what's going on? Like, how should I train for strongman? As I'm like signed up for a contest. I'm like, oh man. And my dad actually flew up to take me to my first contest.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And it's cool. Well, a little more background there. So a couple years ago, my dad actually had like a really bad accident.
Oh, no.
Accident implies car crash. His aorta, descending aorta.
Mm-hmm.
So the vessel that takes the blood from your heart down to the rest of your body below your heart.
Yeah.
That split open.
Oh shit.
From his heart down to his thigh. Just like a candy cane, just split open.
Yeah.
And he was out working in middle of nowhere, West Texas, almost Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to go emergency to the hospital and everything. And somehow they had a really good heart surgeon out there that took care of him. And I think he was in surgery for 10 to 12 hours. Jeez. And they just had to like sew him back up and put like this mesh around him and everything. And during open heart surgery, dude had a heart attack and a stroke in his spinal cord.
Damn.
Yeah. And I don't even remember how much blood he lost. I think you have like 5 liters of blood in your body. Might be horribly wrong. My wife's a nurse. You're
off by like 1 liter. It's actually 4.
Like, it's actually 5.4. So what are you doing? But I want to say he lost 3.5 to 4 liters.
Yeah. He lost a lot of blood.
Yeah, like it was like afterwards, the doctors came up to my stepmom and like when he was doing rehab and everything, they told him like, you really shouldn't be alive.
Oh wow.
Like and every doctor like that talked to him since is like how like they have no idea. So they literally said like 1% chance that you would live. Like there's no reason you should be alive. So now, because of all the damage from the lack of blood down to his lower body, the stroke in the spinal cord, he's in a wheelchair now.
Oh no.
So he was 6'6". Now he's a little shorter. So like him coming up there and doing that with me, like that was like really big because
this was after the accident?
Yeah. So
okay.
This was a couple years, maybe I think 2 years after.
Well, go Pops.
Yeah. Dude, and now he's doing bodybuilding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, he just won't stop. Like, he literally...
That's a warrior right there.
Dude, he's crazy. He puts himself... He'll do something until he puts himself in the grave.
No, see, right there, I could see your dad... That's a story right there. That I could see him being one of those motivational stories where... sucks to say, like, is he still in a wheelchair? He's just training.
Yeah, so he's got some function of his legs. Like, he can drive and, like, stand up. Not, like, with assistance. Like, if he leans onto something, he can stand up. But over the past couple of years, like, it's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's no way that he's ever gonna walk again. Like,
Yeah.
I say that, but then this dude's gonna be like skipping down the road. I don't know, but
I'm gonna train for a marathon. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, what?
right, like I don't know, he could do anything.
But yeah, no. But to comment a little bit about that, it's like that's a good story. That's one of those things. Like I could tell that never meeting your dad, but I could tell that he's one of those figures where, yeah, this crappy thing happened. I'm not letting that stop me. Like I'm still gonna go get it. I want it. I'm gonna go get it. And that's I vibe with that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, I mean, both my parents are just insane. My dad, all that, like he won't stop. My mom, like, God, all the stuff that we've been through, because I mainly grew up with my mom and my sister, just all the stuff that we've been through. And she's, I mean, like my mom did massage therapy for almost my entire life. So that's why why I did massage for a while. Because I was into it. It was really, it's really cool stuff. But she did that so she could have a easy enough schedule to where she can do pretty much everything me and my sister wanted to do.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so she like put that, and massage therapy is tough on your body.
Is
like
it?
When you're doing, you're just like digging in.
I mean, yeah,
people.
Yeah.
I mean, getting massage is great.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking for a second. I was like,
wait,
I don't know what it's like applying, but massages.
Doing massages. Oh, I loved it, but I don't think my hands are like built for just the little like digging in. I mean, I only did it for 3 years, and I was like, damn, like my hands, my shoulders, and everything. And she's done it for, God, 15 years at least.
Damn.
So she's just like broken. Like there's always something wrong, but she's like always just keeps going. Like she like nothing's gonna stop her. Like she's very determined, and it's been fantastic. So I gotta give it to them for how I've been able to do all the stupid shit I've been able to do in my life. Just beat the hell out of myself with everything that I want to do for fun. Play rugby, I'm just smash myself. But I just keep going, and I just have insane genetics from them.
That's funny. I can imagine where both your parents, they pick these very physical jobs, and they're like, we're grinding so you don't have to grind as hard. And then here you go. It's like, you could do whatever you want. Yeah, I want to like destroy my body. I want to hurt myself. I want to hurt myself. It's like, all right, whatever. Yeah. We can't stop them.
Oh my gosh. Strongman, I never really had any big injuries from.
That's good.
Mainly just like being hurt.
Sore, kind of.
I mean, sore. I mean, always sore.
Yeah.
But like, nothing like that actually damaged me. But like muscle spasms or pinched nerves, just little things like that. I mean, it can be really dangerous, like,
yeah.
I just think it's crazy what I've been able to do. Like you said, starting out where you start out at, what you get to, and now I've kind of put that on hold. But like this past year, in June, that wasn't that long ago. Geez.
I know, ever since COVID, everything's like been moving in hyperspeed, man.
Yeah. And so I almost went to nationals in June. I got an invite to nationals, but then that's when I was like, right before I started to play rugby again, and I didn't start playing. I was just coaching at first, but then I'm in there and I'm like teaching guys how to hit and tackle and everything, and I'm getting the feeling of hitting again. I was like, all right, well, I'm not done. I got to get back into this, and I wanted to lose weight because the strongman, it's so easy to get just huge, because a lot of guys do, because it does help lift weight, like be big, lift big. There's some truth to that.
Yeah.
Although just being strong works too. But I was like, I'm getting a little too big. I need to slim down, and so I started just like, I'll do the practice just so I can have some cardio, get a little fitter and everything. And I'm like, no, fuck it, I'm gonna play. Like, I can't not do this. And And then the opportunity just to play on a professional team as well.
Yeah.
Like, sure, why not? And it's good because now it's something else to push me. So I've done a lot, like with Strongman, working out, trying to lift as much weight as possible, just ridiculous stuff. And now most of my workouts are cardio based, doing loads of cardio so I can get my heart back to where it needs to be, my lungs and everything. Because when we first met, not only was I doing theater, but I was also running cross country.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another insane thing. Like, why? Why just run for fun?
Yeah.
So I did enjoy cross country.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier when you're like 170 pounds rather than 320. So
Oh man. So I remember it's definitely a video you shared like years ago on Facebook that just made me go like, wow, these strongman competition. It was the one I'm pretty sure it was in Europe, where you start off with like a small concrete ball and you put it
the
on
Atlas stones.
What is it called?
Atlas stones.
Atlas stones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the dude, for those who don't know, I'm gonna poorly describe it. It's where you just grab like the small concrete ball. It starts off like a baseball, and you put it on a podium, and then right next to it is another one that's slightly bigger, and you put it on a podium. You move on, and it gets bigger and bigger, and then like eventually like dude can do it with one hand, and then eventually he has to use two hands. It turns into a basketball, and then it's huge, and he has to like actually grip it, put it on his chest, and like lift up. And I'm like, what? And then what amazed me is I watched it kind of with being a little bit of a skeptic, going like, okay, I know this dude's stronger than me for sure, but there's that one that he just lifted. That's it. There's no way he can lift this one. And then he does it. I'm like, okay, that was impressive. There's no way you can lift that next one. And then he fucking does it. And
he's probably thinking the same thing. He's like, there's no fucking way I'm going to do this.
Right? That like blew my mind. I love that competition. So, and then you did a little bit of that.
Stones was one of my favorite events.
Those are epic.
Stones.
I'm pretty sure, again, because of my point of view, I didn't know anything about that sport. I didn't know jack. Anybody can watch that and be impressed and just be like, dude, this, like every second it's like, no way. Oh shit. And then when they pull it off, and then when they don't pull it off, you're rooting for them. You're never rooting against them. And you're just like, oh, then you almost
that's the cool thing too, is even like when you're competing against other people, like your competitors want you to do really good too.
Yeah.
Because there's been events that I've won because somebody has an injury or something. I'm like, he's definitely stronger than me, but I've been able to be healthy, so I was able to win this event.
Yeah.
Like he's like torn his pec 3 times and like just not healing right. Now he can't press this, or he can't, because with the Atlas stones you have to squeeze it, so you're like using your pec, so you don't really think about that.
Yeah.
Like, like a pec deck machine, you're doing that.
Yeah.
You're really doing that when you get into the stones, and he just couldn't like get a hold of it properly because he doesn't have as much strength in his pec anymore.
Yeah.
So like that's part of it, just staying healthy enough to be able to perform. There's a lot of guys that are like that push themselves so like crazy, and then your bicep comes off the bone. You got to get that reattached, and now you got to rebuild, and people will just keep doing it. And I'm probably one of those people. So like,
good. No,
I haven't torn anything.
Knock on wood. This isn't wood, but
something.
Right.
Right. But the Atlas stones, I think with the video you're talking about, so in like a lot of cultures, stone lifting was very big on like how much of a man you are. Like to become a man, you've got to be able to lift these stones. It's cultures all over the world. I know, especially it's big in strongman, is Scotland and Iceland.
Yeah.
They're huge. So I think those ones you're talking about is the Ardblair stones, Ardblair or something. in Scotland, and it goes, that small one, I want to say is 30 pounds.
Like the very small, the smallest one. Damn.
And
That thing
then
was like a freaking baseball.
I think it's 10 stones. And it goes from 30 pounds up to 300 or 330. But you don't, like, so when, a lot of times when we do Atlas stones in competition, like, we've got these braces that we wear on our arms, and then we just slather it in tacky, and it's like tree sap.
Yeah.
Really. So it's just like this super sticky substance, just so we can hold on to it.
Yeah.
You know, because at
I've
certain
seen some
point,
with chalk.
chalk
with
can
the
help.
hand.
Yeah, chalk just helps like not be like
Get
sweaty.
cut. Okay, yeah.
Like it helps absorb that, so you're not slipping.
Mm-hmm.
Stones can get like dusty.
Mm-hmm.
They have that film of just like the rock dust sitting on it.
Yeah.
So sometimes chalk doesn't really help.
Gotcha.
So you get that sticky stuff on, and then just get a hold of it and lift it up. With the Arblair stones, you don't have any of that. Like, it's just you.
Mm.
And it's
You versus
crazy.
nature.
Like, doing it, and like that's how some people train. Well, they're just nothing help. They're like, no help. Just get into it, lift it up, and like actually train yourself to do it, not rely on, because you almost don't have to grab it if you have that tacky on. Like, you just like attach and then lift.
Yeah.
You know, but actually training those muscles, your back. Stones train everything.
Mm-hmm.
It is rough. And the most I've done is a 400-pound stone.
I'm sorry. What? You're talking about how there's 10 stones and it's like, oh, the heaviest one is probably like 330. Then you're like, oh yeah, I did 400.
I used tacky on that one though. I used that.
And
that wasn't just raw. That wasn't just me.
me.
But when I first started doing stones, I would do it just raw.
Yeah.
And it would eat my forearms.
Oh, really?
Because
I
it's
can
just
see
a
that.
ball of concrete.
Yeah.
So you're squeezing it, lifting it, and I'm just like, my forearms are bloody afterwards.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm like, I got to do something about this. Like, I've got forearm tattoos. I don't want to fuck that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting up to that 400-pound stone was a big, big milestone. And it's like, I guess it's the same with anything, like podcasting or whatever. Like, there's,
man, this
always
is not lifting 400 pounds.
well, no,
this is easy.
I'm saying, like, there's always something like you feel like it's better, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like you can have this, like, instead of having iPhones for cameras, which work really well, but you could get a really expensive camera that has like all these neat little tricks to it, or
Yeah.
you know, with Strongman, you know, like everybody's stronger than you.
Mhm.
There's always somebody stronger than you. Even World's Strongest Man, like, that changes all the time because people just get stronger or better. Like, you don't perform as well. Like, it's so like up to chance, like how you perform.
And what I would like add to that, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that some of these, like, you know, big athletes on it that's been doing it for X amount of years, now they probably have, like, you know, good trainers and good state of the art equipment to kind of take on the workload a little bit. But there was a time and place where they didn't have that. They had little to nothing. They just had themselves and the area and stones. So you have to start somewhere. And like what I do, like, just for this podcast as an example, is that this is like, I could easily now teach somebody how to do this. Again, it's not the greatest, but you know, it's a start, and I'm now proud of it. And I'm able to do this with just iPhones and basic microphones. Like, these microphones are like $50 to $100. I got them on Amazon and stuff. Eventually, there's better microphones, there's better cameras, there's better lights, better everything. But you have to start somewhere. You have to learn the fundamentals. You have to learn the basics. And then over time, you know, when money starts coming in or whatever, endorsements, whatever, slowly you increase the quality. But you need to learn the basics. You need to learn the fundamentals. I'm willing to bet that's the same thing with Strongman. It's like, especially with you right now, that there was a time and place where you didn't perform as well as you thought. But because you started, you realize, okay, now I know what I need to improve on. I know something physical I need to improve on. And then the moment you do, and then you start winning competitions and you start getting money in, then you start to increase the quality of your equipment, but you're still going to perform what you were performing. Now you're just going to do it even better, but you had to learn how to start. You had to learn how to do a squat. You had to learn how to lift.
Right. So you say, with strongman, technique is so big.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things about strongman, it's supposed to be just like, you're just strong. Like, you just get strong. You do everything you can. So like when it comes time to show up to that contest and get there, you're just ready to go.
Yeah.
Because it's not like powerlifting or weightlifting, CrossFit, whatever, like where there's very standardized pieces of equipment. Like you're gonna be using this style bar with this, and you can buy, most every gym has that bar, so you can train with it. Like, what it feels like. Powerlifting, they are very keen on keeping everything very much the same. Like, oh, you don't have calibrated plates. Like, what are we doing? Like, it has to be this bar, this knurling. It has to be this thick. Like, there's so much that goes into that. But with strongman, it's just like, you're going to show up and you're going to pick up a fucking rock. Whether it's the shape of a sphere, oval, or just something we dug out of the backyard. You're going to come up and you're going to pick it up. And that you just have to be like, okay. Like, if there's somebody, like, natural stones are events. Like, you can carry them, load them onto a platform, press them over your head. And it's a natural stone. So that means it's just a rock. Just a rock. It's just like that.
Whatever shape.
Yeah, it's just whatever. And you have to, day of, figure out what's it going to take. Like, watch other people try to lift it. Like, where are the certain ridges? What angle is going to be best to, line up the center of mass so you can lift it up easier and it's not too far away from you. Like, you have to do all this day of.
And it's the same rock everybody's trying to lift?
For most of the time. So, I mean, It'll be different. Like, there's different weight classes. So, like, the heavier guys will have a heavier rock, whatever. But most guys all have the same rock.
Yeah.
This was an event at the Arnold Classic a few years ago. And Matusz Kieliszkowski, this guy, like, everybody was struggling. They could lap it, and you would get points for how high you could get it. It was like 1 if you could lap it, 2 to your belly, 3 you had a shoulder. You had to get it up and hold on one shoulder. So that's 4 points all the way up. And I think somebody was able to, like, kind of get it up and get it to their chest before him. And then this dude walks up, and I want to say it was like 400 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And this dude walks up and then just, like, puts it in his lap and throws it up to his, like, throws his hips through it, rolls it up to his shoulder, just sits it there, rep good down, puts the rock down, and then he does it 4 times. Just because he had the technique and he figured it out and what to do. And I mean, a lot of people, and strongman, a lot of people make their own equipment. Like, people will get a tree and then, like, trim it down and cut out little holes so you can have handles and, like, literally have a log.
Yeah, I've seen those. And they'll do, like, chest press and stuff like that.
So you, like, literally just have a log. Or, like, I have metal logs that Rogue made. And, I mean, most contests use metal logs. But some people don't have the money to buy a $200 log, so they just make their own. So, like, it's just crazy. Like, you just need to get strong.
I'm sorry, what is more manlier than that? It's like
rocks
you're just going through your wallet and you're like, damn, I'm 100 short from buying a metal log. So you just grab your axe, you go to the woods. Yeah, this tree's gonna do. And then you just chop it down and then you make handles and you're like, yeah, this is gonna do. And I'm just like, how manly is that?
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, people they'll learn how to weld just so they can build strongman implements.
I need to rethink my life.
Like, damn, like, that's innovation. Like, people are determined.
I love that. I admire that.
It's like with rugby. A lot of the Pacific Island nations are fantastic rugby players. Like, they play rugby their entire life.
Yeah.
But majority of them are too poor to afford cleats or a rugby ball. Like, they have nothing. So what they do is they'll fill a used water bottle full of rocks, and then just run around in a yard somewhere and play rugby with a water bottle like that, or a shoe.
Yeah.
Like they don't, and they're amazing. Like Fiji won the men's team won the Olympics, 2 Olympics in a row.
Nice.
For sevens, and they don't have anything. Like there's no money. Like they don't have anything, and they just train. They like fill up bags with sand, and then they throw it on their back and they run up sand dunes and train like that. Or
it's like a classic Rocky story. Rocky
right?
4.
I mean, that's their whole life.
Yeah.
That's all it is, and they'll play touch with each other, but they do it in a shallow creek, so they get the resistance running through the water. But they're all doing that, and to get to the Olympics, I don't know if it was both the men's and the women's, but to get to the Olympics, they didn't have money to get to the Olympics, so they hitched a ride on a cargo plane delivering fish to Japan from Fiji.
Oh wow!
Like they won 2 Olympic gold medals team, but they don't have enough money to fly to the Olympics. So they hitched a ride with a bunch of fish on a cargo plane. And then they go and beat everybody, win the Olympics, and then go back to it. Like, it's just crazy. And like you have people here like, oh, I need like the new Adidas cleats that are $270, and then they blow out in 3 months, and like it's just not worth it. Or you just go play barefoot and train that way and figure it out.
Man, there was some conspiracy on it where, it's like, yo, let's make sure no one give money to Fiji. We like if they can't buy a plane ticket, then we'll win the rugby. What, they hitched a ride with fish? Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
These guys are determined.
So omega 3s.
That is crazy. And with rugby, again, I it's mainly videos you shared. Oh my god, I know you're gonna remember the one I'm about to say. One where it was the men's rugby where dude tackles a dude, dislocates his shoulder, and then goes on the side and just goes like
pops it back in. And
then he keeps playing, just running. He's just like, oh yeah, whatever. And I'm like, what? I would be crying like a little bitch, like okay, all right, I shoulder, but this dude just I'm good.
Pops it back in.
And
my
then
sister
there was
played rugby in high school too, and she like her first tournament, they went up to North Carolina to play, and there was in that tournament she had a girl break a tooth off in her forehead. And then she like broke her finger. And then I think it was a tournament that I played in, like very close to that, and I think I broke something in my foot doing like that. So we show up to school, and she's in a cast with a bruised forehead and black eye, and I'm on crutches, and the school officer is like, do I need to make a home visit? Like, what's going on? Like, nah, we just play rugby, man. Like, it's rough. Rugby is the thing that's always hurt me the most. Like right now, I've got a knee injury I've been dealing with for like 4 months.
Oh no.
I haven't been able to really train.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like a bone bruise is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But it's on the bottom of my femur where it connects to the knee. So I just keep every time I step,
you feel
it hits the bruise, and
there's no way.
I've been wearing a brace for a month to keep it open up that side of the joint, and gosh,
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, that's happened when I did strongman. Worse happened I tweaked my back, and I mean, tweaking your back sucks.
Oh yeah, no,
it's not fun.
I remember it's like a would you rather have back pain or knee pain, and
why not both? I got them already.
Yeah, and then I saw a video of the women rugby. This one chick, I think her nose was broken, and it was just blood all over her mouth, all over her face, and she just went, "All right, I'm good."
Yeah,
and then
just
I'm
keep going.
Dude, these people are warriors. Like, holy shit. But I have a question. So pretty generic, but all right. So rugby, from naive eye like myself looking at it, it looks like football, like American football. So if you had to summarize it, what's the difference between football and rugby besides what I would say is rugby is full of warriors while these football players like they got these helmets and
Oh, their pads.
armor, but their
That's
pads.
the
Rugby's,
eternal debate is who's tougher, football or rugby, and
I mean, they're both tough.
tough.
I can
They're
see it
both
being like a
tough as hell.
Yeah,
But it's and football's following in rugby's footsteps with the safe tackling, because with rugby they're very strict on how you tackle.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, very strict. We're not just like targeting and hitting each, like just smashing.
Oh, see, I would assume so.
Right. I mean, it looks like it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it does happen, but like you can't hit above the shoulders. High tackles are like strictly forbidden. You have to wrap up the players. The biggest thing, you have to wrap up and go to ground with them. You can't just shoulder charge.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just like run in and smash somebody to the ground and then keep going, because that's dangerous for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to hit them, wrap, and take down. And 99% of the time, everybody's fine with that. Like there's no injuries from it whatsoever. So football is actually adopting a lot more of that rugby style tackling, because like everybody that has football has brain damage, or plays football has brain damage, and like then they murder their family, like later on in life, and they don't know it until like that's it. Like they have CTE and then they kill their family. Like, oh man, it was all that football. Or so it was I don't know, I can't remember, but who it was. But like it's so dangerous because they're just.
No, I saw sports science where
they just want the big hits.
Yeah, they had a sports science like hooked up a dummy to measure the force, and a football player, tackled the dummy to measure the force, and it was almost the equivalent of a car wreck. If the car was like going something like 60 miles an hour, it's almost the equivalent of that. And so, yeah, these football players and rugby, they're taking in basically literal car wrecks daily or whatever.
Yeah, and they just do it all the time. They do it at practice. They have games like constantly, all the time. That's why like recovery is so big, because you're just beating the hell out of yourself. So you got to know like how to recover and how to get, keep yourself healthy. Like I was saying earlier, you got to keep yourself healthy so you can perform.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially with football, like that's your job, professionally at least,
Mm-hmm.
Like what are you going to do to keep your job? It's like if you work at, I don't know, McDonald's or whatever, and you break both your hands and you can't flip burgers or push buttons on the cash register, like you're useless. You're not going to be able to keep your job because you don't have any hands anymore. So you got to take care of yourself. That was a horrible, stupid analogy. Like,
I mean, I get it.
Oh, if you cut off both your hands, now you can't work. I don't. But you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really trying to focus on now, is like just making sure I'm healthy. Because coming from a strongman, you have to be able to move and lift in awkward, weird positions, and being able to brace, but like still get so tight from it. So coming back into rugby and running again, I have to like get my body readjusted from being one way to another.
Yeah.
So I'm like going back now from what I was before. So my body's like, dude, fuck you. What are you doing to me?
Damn, dude. So what's training like? Do you are you one of those where you have a arm day, leg day, back day kind of thing, or is it like specific because of strongman and rugby?
Well, right now, so like the arm day, leg day, whatever, that's very bodybuilding style training. So what I would do when I was doing strongman is either train around a lift, like I have like a press day, or I guess leg day, but I'm like doing a bunch of different kinds of things because you tax each part of your body so much. But most of the time what I did was like have 2 upper body days and 2 lower body days. So I have like one day that's like a main event day where I do like log press, and that's my big lift for the training session. And then I have a couple accessory lifts to go along with that. And then same thing, lower body. Like if it's leg day, I'll do deadlifts, and then I have accessories with that, and then I'll train on the other second day something that's not as big, and then do a lot more accessory work to help keep the movement coming in and keep the muscles training, but also not just completely tax myself with every training session.
Yeah.
And I think people are getting a lot smarter with that nowadays on how to train and train efficiently.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just go in, they're like, well, let's fucking see how much I can bench today. And then, they're every day they're trying to do a new max, and it's not how you get stronger. You have to train yourself sub-maximally to be able to get to a higher weight. I mean, there's a guy that I follow. He trains a bunch of high school athletes out in East Cobb, but like he'll test every now and then, but that makes everybody train super sub-maximally, but do it very efficiently and do it really well. And then they train, like they lift 200 pounds more, like deadlift or squat or whatever, than what they train with, because they've trained their bodies so efficiently to be able to lift like that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different methodologies and ideologies about training and what works. And a lot of it is really just,
you just got to do
like,
it.
well, it's up to you. Like, it's your body. Like, how's your body going to respond to this training stimulus? And because it's not even just training, it's what you eat as well.
Yeah.
You have to fuel yourself, right? So if you're training right, but you're eating like shit, you're not going to get the gains that you want to see.
Yeah.
So like nowadays it's so like scientific with what you can do, and like have to adjust it, pay attention to everything.
Yeah. I met this guy years ago. He was a personal trainer. I like what he said, and he said something like, like if you want abs, like he was just talking in general. He was like, if you want abs and you eat like shit, you will get abs down the road, but it's going to be longer and it might be a little bit harder.
Abs are made in the kitchen.
Yeah. And then exactly. And so if it's like, if you want those, like, typical model shredded abs, it's like you have to eat leaner and then do the work. You could do the same amount of workout, but the person who eats right is going to get them faster and more efficiently than the other person. And then he also said, also eat whatever you want and do the workout. Understand later down the road, you're not only dealing with getting the muscles, you're also dealing with like health problems and stuff. So it's like,
right,
you understand, like you're going to get the body you want eventually, but you might not like some of the package that comes with it. And I like the way he put it. I do try to kind of watch what I eat a little bit as I get older and stuff. And now, like, I love cooking, and now I realize, it's not as hard to kind of eat lean. The real problem.
Then you eat good food.
Yeah.
then you enjoy what you eat.
Yeah.
Like eating out. I don't know, man. Like the more I cook for myself, the more I hate eating out.
Because I feel that.
I know what I like to eat, and I can cook good food.
Yeah.
I've been cooking for a long time now, and just because I have to eat so much, like my favorite thing now is just grilling. I got a charcoal grill.
Nice.
Put the steaks on there, have the chicken, and season the chicken right, and get into that. And then I've got a great, delicious meal right here. I just smoked some chicken on the grill. Like, where am I going to go and get like good food like this?
I will say, like, I'm ashamed to admit this, but I'm gonna be honest. Steak is the only thing that I rather kind of get out, because I haven't fully mastered a steak myself.
Yeah, it takes some time.
Yeah, I haven't fully mastered it to the point where I can eat my own steak and be like, yeah, this is the best. Chicken and salmon, I got that down. But steak, I can admit that I'm not the best yet.
For the longest, I just started grilling steaks last year during like the pandemic is when I bought my grill, and I've like been grilling constantly.
Nice.
And now I'm like wanting a smoker, and like I'm telling Colleen I'm gonna turn a carport into like a a barbecue shack where I'm just like,
Nice.
I've got my propane grill, my charcoal grill, a smoker, and I'll do all this and all of this stuff and make delicious meat and
Hell yeah.
oh man, but figure like it's even still like I know how to cook a good steak, but it's just so easy to fuck it up. And
Yeah.
then you're like, well, I have to eat it because it costs $30. Like,
oh man,
meat's so expensive nowadays. You know, I can't waste it, but I'm not gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. No, first time I fucked up on chicken and tried the hell out of it, and I was like, well, I gotta eat it.
Well, then I discovered chicken thighs.
Yeah.
I never thought about it because I would eat, when you're training and everything, it was like chicken breast. Oh, you always gotta eat your chicken breast, and it's good if you eat it right when you cook it. But heating it up later and everything, it's so dry and just it doesn't matter how well you season it or whatever. Like, it just sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? Like, I looked it up. I'm like, why? What can I do? Because I need to eat chicken, but I hate this. And so it came up with, they're like, oh, eat chicken thighs, darker meat and everything, and stay juicier. And I only eat chicken thighs now.
Nice.
Oh yeah, because it's still not, heat it up, it's still not as good, but it's a lot better than eating some dry chicken breasts.
Yeah, especially if you're meal prepping, and so if you're doing
which I have to all the time.
Yeah,
I have to eat way too much. I eat like 2 pounds of meat a day, at least.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of cooking. Like when I leave here, I got to go and cook and
same.
Buy meat and cook that up.
Yeah, so that's actually one of the questions is like what your diet. So what does it? You said 2 pounds of meat. This is what I like to do, especially when I'm training. Is I like to do 1 week I'll cook a week's worth of chicken, then the next week worth of salmon, and then steak. Switch it up.
I'm pretty good on eating like the same thing all the time.
I'm good at eating kind of the same dishes, like protein, rice, and my green beans or broccoli. And then I just switch up the protein. Yeah. What's that?
I'm green beans and broccoli too.
Yeah.
I like I like them. They're greens or vegetables, and they taste good.
I ate them just because I feel like I have to. But I mean, they taste good, but like it's whatever.
Also, and I mean, they're cheap too. You go to the Walmart, get a can of green beans, like 80 cents, and it's like a whole day's worth of green beans for me.
Yeah, salt, pepper, they're done.
But I'm actually like working on diet is too hard for me. It's too much energy, and I'm like, well, not like doing it is fine, but like
it's the consistency.
Coming up with it myself.
Okay.
Like, what do I need to eat for what? Because it's different. Like, eating for strongman is a lot different than eating for rugby.
Yeah, I can say
that. So when I was in my main training cycle for strongman, I had a coach, and he's like he's like a world strongest man competitor, and he's been around the circuit for, I want to say he's been training for like 30 years, 20 years, maybe 22, something, a while.
Yeah.
And he was like, you need to eat just like food, like no protein shakes, don't do any of that, like eat meat, vegetables, like just have real food. And so that's what I had to do a lot of. And now I got very much in the thought process of eating like that. And now I'm like, well, shit, I don't know. You try to look it up online. Everybody's got their own opinions. Everybody's this and that. And so I've got a friend that does like nutrition coaching and everything. So I've actually just hired her on to help me with my rugby diet. So hopefully,
is rugby diet more leaner?
I mean, again, it goes like individually, like what's going to be good for you. Like I need to lean out a lot more. Like ultimately, if I want to be a really efficient rugby player, I want to lose like 70 pounds. Mm-hmm. I need to get down, and I've lost like 20 pounds, 25 pounds.
Hell yeah.
Right. And I feel good, feel better, but I'm like on my rugby team, I'm 100% the strongest guy on my team. I'm probably the strongest guy against any other team we play. But I'm also very much the least fit guy on the team, the slowest guy on the team.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to maybe like find an even balance there.
You're still the strong.
Yeah, I'm still pretty strong, but I can move. You know, like you give me the ball, like I'm gonna run through some people.
Yeah.
Because it's just my momentum. You know,
Yeah.
force equals mass times acceleration. I've got the mass. I don't have a lot of acceleration.
We're working
I got to
on
work
that.
on the acceleration part. The force is there from the mass. So let me bump up the other part of the equation.
Nice.
So I mean, there's guys on my team that have played all over the world. One of the guys had a little bit of time in the NFL and the Canadian Football League,
Mm-hmm.
and like everybody's like, "Fuck, Tristan, it really hurts to hit you. You're just like a wall." Well, yeah, well, that's a lot of me. So there's
somebody tackles you and they get the win knocked out.
Yeah, pretty much. I was with my first touch back in our game in against Delaware in North Carolina. My first touch with the ball, I like ran it up, and this guy broke off real quick, and he got a hold of me, but like when I hit him, we just like went to ground immediately. Like this dude was in front of me, and then he's on his back. Like it was just like bang bang. Like it was quick, and I felt like, I felt so good. He's like, "We still tackled you." I'm like, "Yeah, but do you know how hard you went down?"
Yeah.
Like we both went down pretty hard. I was part of it. I felt it. But I was like, man, like I love this shit.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite part of it. Like when I went down to Sydney, we right the week after I went down there, they had a luncheon with the whole team and older members and supporters and everything. And then I didn't know that they were going to do this, but they brought me up in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Just be like, "This is our American import, like help us finish out the season." And so like, they're like, "You guys have any questions for him?" And when they like were pulling me up, I was like, I was tucking into some ribs, and they're like, "Oh, we got Tristan over here." I'm like, what's going on? They got sauce on my face. I'm like, all right, give me a second. But they're like, what are you gonna bring to the team? Like, what are we gonna be able to do? I was like, I'm just come down here for a good time and help y'all out and bust up some defense and get it going. And that the entire time I was down there. Like, all right, Tristan, mate, you ready to bust up the defense? Every time. I'm like, yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll make it work.
Yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah, I'm like, that's why you guys flew me down here. So I feel like I'm obligated to.
Yeah. How'd it go, though?
It was good. It was awesome. I loved being in Australia. I would hate to be in Australia right now.
Yeah.
But when I was down there, it was awesome. And I did know a couple people that lived in Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
So I had some friends. I was 19, and I flew to the other side of the world by myself. Like it was a wild experience. But 5 minutes into my first game down there, I tried to make a tackle from behind on this big Polynesian dude, and I jumped and tried to go for his legs. I missed, but my elbow went into the ground, and I just and I tore my shoulder. 5 minutes into my first game down there. So the trainer came over, put me through some range of motion. He's like, "Oh, I guess you're all right." And then I played the rest of the game. I played 4 more games when I was down there. And I didn't go to the hospital or anything. I don't know what's wrong with my shoulder, but I couldn't lift it to put on the table. It was hurting, especially the next 2 weeks. It was hurting. But they spent so much money to fly me down there. I didn't want to we can't play anymore. So
you just run up, tackle somebody just like this.
Every game I'd get a whole roll of athletic tape to tape my shoulder up, across my chest, down my bicep, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Put on a shoulder brace, and then you don't wear pads in rugby, but you can wear something that's pad did. They have specific kind of shirts, so it's kind of like a midriff style shirt, but it's just got little foam pads on the shoulder. So then I wear one of those and then my jersey. So I was armored out, but it still hurt. Oh. And then I came home, played a few more games. And then when we were in Montgomery, somebody was tackling me and came up and their knee went right into the bottom of my quad. Oh. And it obliterated that part of my quad. It's a dent in my muscle right now. It's never healed. So I couldn't walk after that. And so I was maybe when I can walk again, I'll go get my shoulder checked out. I tore 80% of my labrum and the slap tear on top here. And it was rough. And then I waited until December 26th to get that surgery. And the doctor was like, that was the hardest surgery I did all year. Because I've got something like where my bones get extra dense. I've got a lot of calcium. And because what you have to do with the labrum, like you pretty much just tie it back down and let it heal back to the bone. But the anchors to go into my bone weren't engaging because my bones are too thick. So we had to go find ones from like 7 or 10 years ago and like essentially do it twice.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, that was the hardest one I did all year. And I know because it was one of the last surgeries I did that year. So
damn, dude.
He's like, don't tear your shoulder again because I'm not fucking doing it. He told me that. And he's like, he's like, your healing's a marathon, not a sprint. Because I'm not fixing that damn shoulder.
Yeah. You show up again. Hey, dog, what's up?
Dr. Lee, what's up, dude? I did it again. Get out.
Get out. Damn, man. Like, man, see, you put it into perspective because, I mean, I never thought like, oh, I was the world's toughest guy at all. But every guy, they have that tough guy mentality. And I'm like, I can endure some pretty hard things. I'm hearing this. I'm like, I'd be a little bitch, man. I'd be like 5 minutes into that game shoulder. No, I'm done. I'm rethinking my whole life. I want to be a dental hygienist. Screw this noise.
I'll tell you what's insane. There was, I can't remember what year it was. I want to say it was like in the 70s, but there was a Rugby World Cup. And New Zealand was playing. They're one of the best teams in the world. And there was a guy on New Zealand. I want to say his name was Buck Shelford. During the game, this dude took a cleat to the crotch. Yeah, graphic warning. Tore his scrotum open.
Oh.
And his testicles were outside of his body. This dude went to the sideline, had the trainer put his testicles back in, sewed up his scrotum, and he went and finished the game. And they won. Okay, good. And it was like, yeah, like I gave my balls to this game, man.
God, at that point, yeah, I might as well. Like, if that story ended with them losing,
like you have to kill yourself. Like, you have to kill yourself. I mean,
what else?
Like you're not like you ripped your scrotum open, you lost. Like
what's the point? I know there's some people probably listening to this. It's like, nah, even if you win, was it worth it? To that guy, it was. That's why,
dude. Oh my god,
dude. That's just the stories you hear about injuries. It really makes you think.
But like I said, 99% of the time, it's like actually really safe. Like you just get the general bruises, cuts, whatever.
I mean, it's like going on YouTube. Like obviously, if you type in like, oh, top rugby injuries and stuff caught on camera, like obviously you're gonna see some of the worst of the worst. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I've never watched an actual game from start to finish, so I'm pretty sure if I watched a game, it would go smooth, like you said, like 90% of the time.
Oh yeah, like it's just sometimes things happen. I mean, you can get like same thing with driving a car, right? Like,
yeah, that's a good one.
You'd be driving down the road and somebody's not paying attention, they T-bone you. Like that. Like driving is the most dangerous thing anybody does.
Yeah, every day,
and you do it all the time, constantly.
You don't.
I drive I live in Ackworth and I work in Norcross, so I drive across Atlanta every day, and the shit I see. Like one time, somebody pulled a gun on me, and pointed a gun at me because they were driving radically, and I was like, fuck off, like get out of here. And they pulled up in front of me, and then this was on 285 too. Like we're going 80 miles an hour, and this person like takes the time to roll down their window and then point the gun back at me. I'm like, well, that was unnecessary. That's not, I flipped you off. That right? What is your escalation right here? Like, I don't get it,
man.
It was people are fucking crazy.
Atlanta, man, like screw it. Sometimes, like it never ceases to amaze me. I remember just where was I going? I don't know where I was. I don't. But I was on the road, or before I was on the road, I go on Google Maps just to see what the traffic's like, and it was green all the way. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I get in my car, and it was like early in the morning. I want to say this was like 6, 7 in the morning. Barely anybody on the road, like you expect that. And I was on my way to Atlanta, and then out of nowhere, it was bumper to bumper traffic, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And it was enough safe where I was able to go on my phone just to check what the traffic was like, and it was like, "Oh, there's 2 wrecks," and I'm like, "How? How? We just started being on the road, and already there's and it was in Atlanta.
I've seen
Never ceases to amaze me.
so many car fires just driving to work. Like how? What? How is your car on fire, dude? Like, what happened? And it's like it's not just like, oh, I saw it, like, oh, a couple years ago I saw one. It happens all the time.
Yeah. No, see, here's the thing. If one of the reasons why, like, some people go, "Oh, there's accidents," like, "Oh, there's so many factors." If you really get down to the bare bones of car accidents, they should not exist. Like, it's always,
Yeah.
always somebody being so fucking stupid. It's
Oh
somebody
my
who
God.
thinks they're above the law. They're gonna drive even faster. Like, so oh man, I've never been that guy when ever since I started driving when I was like 16. I've never been that guy that was like, "Oh yeah, I drive way past the speed limit. Oh, I speed and all that stuff." I've never been that guy. And with my insurance, it reflects, and now I got good rates driving well, and they're like, "All right, here, we're going to reward you. We're going to lower down your rates. You drive well." And I have people my age, some older, bragging about like, "Oh yeah, I drive really fast. Oh man, like, oh yeah, I'll run red lights and all that stuff." And the first thing I ask, I'm like, "Yeah, what's your insurance rates like?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's like $200. Whatever, I got the money to pay." And I'm like, "Yeah, mine's like $70. Like, I like saving money. I like
Yeah, why
having
do
money in my
you don't need to
pocket.
be paying that?
Like, really." But again, it's always that mentality. People who don't use their turn signals, people who don't wear their seatbelts and stuff like that, like, they're the ones who are increasing the chances of getting in a car accident. And I'm not saying I'm the most perfect driver, but the chances of me causing an accident is 0.0001%. I'm gonna say that. I'm not a super cautious driver, but like, I'm a decent driver. I'm good. I follow the the law and stuff and the rules of the road. Yeah, and the idea of me causing an accident is just hilarious. Like, I just never will. And so when an accident happens, don't get me wrong, I feel bad for the person who got hit where it's not their fault. But I absolutely hate the person who caused the accident. It's like, you were doing something you weren't supposed to. And
Well, even in like Georgia now, they have a law called the Slowpoke Law. Like if you're going on, like you're on the highway and you're going the speed limit, but there's a ton of people behind you. They're trying to go faster, but you're impeding traffic. That's now illegal.
yeah.
Like you can for going the speed limit. Like you're obeying the law, but you're gonna get ticketed for other people not obeying the law. Which good. I do speed. So, I had paid
Adding
2
your
speeding
name to the
tickets.
list.
Like
Never paid
my
a speeding ticket.
insurance is gonna be great next year. My wife is gonna be happy. But like one of the cops pulled me over. It was in Montgomery. I was going down the beach. And I just like I'm not trying to speed. I'm not like, oh, fuck the law. I'm just doing what I want. I'm just like, it's an open road.
Yeah.
And my foot is on the gas pedal. I'm just going. Like I'm not driving dangerously at all.
Yeah.
But then I end up going like 20 over. But there's a lot of people that are going 20 over. Like,
Yeah,
I
I feel
think
that.
about it like I'm just trying to fly by everybody. And so the cop pulled me over and so, why are you going so fast? And I didn't say this to him. But I was like, it's because your speed limit's too low. Like, it's an open road through Alabama. People want to get out of Alabama as fast as possible. So let's bump this thing up a little bit. I got places to be. And then, gosh, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I got one coming down 400 like a month later.
No.
Yeah. And 400 is insane all the time.
Mm-hmm.
People are flying down. So I was just coming back home and I didn't realize that I was going 25 over because so is everybody else. I was still getting passed.
Yeah.
And then I look at my rear view and there's cop lights and I'm like,
Yeah,
what the hell, man? And he pulled me over. He asked, he was like, is there a reason you're going so fast? I was like,
why didn't you ask that guy who just passed me?
I was just keeping speed with everyone. I was very honest. Like, I didn't even realize I was going that fast. I was just keeping pace with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, people fly down this road all the time. Sit tight. I'll be right back. I'm like, fuck you, man. Come on. You got to give everybody else a ticket too.
You know, like that red car.
You see those memes like, they can't give us all tickets, but yeah, they'll give me a ticket.
Well, they gave me a ticket.
Yeah. I'm like, damn,
I was in the back.
Like, he did drop it from 25 to 20. So that wasn't super speeder. I wasn't going to like get my license suspended.
Still.
Yeah. I'm like, just cut me a break. Say like, hey, well, I know everybody's like going fast, but like, take it easy. Like, be a good guy.
After that, you invest in a speed gun. You park the car right next to the police officer. You speed somebody, and then you're like, go get him. Go get him. He's going the same speed. Go get him. What?
And I'll, yeah, I don't know. After that, I put hashtag defund the police in my Instagram bio.
No. How dare you?
I didn't. But it's like after that, like once you have a bad exchange, you're like, man, fuck the police. Go home, put on some NWA,
As soon as he's all like, all right, sit tight, you start blasting that.
Yeah, fuck the police.
Oh man, that's
then
hilarious.
He shoots me.
Oh man. So changing topics for a little bit. You're married.
Yeah.
When was your wedding? It was last year?
So we did a COVID wedding.
Yeah.
So we had one of my buddies ordained from the internet.
Hell yeah.
So
I did that.
Yeah. I want to do it. I was like, I'll marry my friends. Like, that'll be cool.
Yeah. It was funny because real quick, my buddy who I consider my brother, I was just chilling one day at my apartment. He just calls me. He's like, hey, how would you like to perform the ceremony? And I was like, we have to hear it from your fiance. He was like, no, it's coming from her. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'll do it. Like, I'm not going to lose that opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we did that on our back porch. So we just had like our parents over. So both of our parents are divorced. So we've got like extra parents. So we had like 10 people over. And then my buddy just came over and like married us on our back porch. So 2020 is really when we got married. And then this past year in March. So we got legally married on the same day because we already booked our wedding venue. So we got married on the same day that our wedding was going to be. So then our our ceremony date that we had this past year was technically our 1 year anniversary. But everybody came. We try to keep it more on the down low that we were married for the year just because we want people to still give us gifts. They show like, you guys are already married. You got your shit together. Like, whatever. We're not coming. But no, man, our wedding was awesome. Like, the venue was beautiful. Hightower Falls out in Cedartown.
Nice.
And it's got like this old grist mill on the property in this field. And it's got a beautiful waterfall in the back. And that's like right behind where the ceremony was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I saw some of the pictures. It looked badass.
Oh, yeah. And then the party afterwards was insane.
Of course.
We were having such a good time. Because all of our friends came out. We all like partying. Our families are fun. So we're all dancing and drinking, having a good time. And on the property, they had a bunch of cabins, too. So we rented out all the cabins and people just stayed over. So when that ended, we just went to the cabins and kept drinking and eating and hanging out. And man, it was such a good time. I want to do it again. Like nobody else's wedding is going to be as good as mine.
There you go.
Best.
And no one wants to invite you. You go and you're like silently judging.
Yeah, I'm just going to be like, this
was good.
garbage.
No. not like my wedding.
And we catered some. It was the steakhouse. I think it's in Rockmart, but
That's where I go to skydive.
What's that?
That's where I go to skydive. Rockmart.
You went skydiving?
Yeah.
Fucking
Dude, skydiving is the
I will
best.
never. Just because, like, I understand.
You're afraid of heights?
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
like that. But holy shit, I just don't get it, man. Like,
I'm an adrenaline junkie.
At least the stuff that I do, I'm like, I can get hurt. I'll more than likely live. But like, if something messes up while you're skydiving, like you're just a missile into the earth. Like that's it. Like there's nothing else. Like the parachute doesn't work for some reason, which happens.
Yeah.
And then you just plummet straight to the earth.
I'm an adrenaline junkie, but see that kind of goes with my personality.
Colleen would do it.
Huh?
Colleen would do it. Oh shit, she can't watch this now. And those would be like, that's only like 30 minutes away. I'll just go do that. She wants to.
Dude, Rockmart's like an hour away. What are you talking about?
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, because like I remember I booked it with a buddy of mine, Brady, who I mentioned, and like he was the one that did it, and it was like just an hour away. But I'm glad. I love the place. Spaceland Skydive, something like that. Highly recommend them. And yeah, it's an hour drive, but damn it, is it worth it? But that kind of goes with my personality. Is like either I live or I die, whatever.
I live or I die. If I die, I die.
If I die, I die. And but if I live,
I've done some stupid stuff in my life for sure, but I will never go skydiving.
Oh my god,
I can't.
Dude, it's the best, and I predicted it well. I was like I've jumped now twice, and I have my third one lined up. I just have to make I already paid for it. I just have to make an appointment, but I'll do that down the road. And so I'm trying to jump by myself now. Right now, I'm still jumping with somebody attached to me.
So if something goes wrong, you're just getting ass fucked into the earth. Like
pretty much.
So is that how you? If I die, I die. It's not even if you die. Like that's
archaeologist discovers our bones, and it's like this dude had 4 arms and 4 legs. This is amazing.
Like this is a mega person, the Spider-Man.
Some angel like dropped down. They have 4 arms, 4 legs. Weird. 2 skulls. Huh?
It's like I don't know. If you seen that meme? It was from Pompeii, and there was like an embracing, 2 people embracing. They're like cast like that forever. And there was like an article saying like they might have been gay lovers.
Yeah.
And then like people were like, okay, so let's just say you fought in a war, this man became your brother, like you guys are best friends, and you are watching your impending death roll down. Everybody, like everything you know and you love is being destroyed. And as you look across your best friend, you guys embrace one last time, and then 2,000 years later, like, LOL, gay boys.
Yeah, they were gay.
Yeah, like not everything has to be gay. Like it's
right?
okay.
It's okay. Like no one hates y'all. It's just not everything's gay.
Well, some people hate them, but yeah. I mean,
it's a low percent.
Yeah,
like, people making it to seem as a big percent. No, it's not. And not everything, like you said, not everything has to be gay. But I
everything like it's okay. Like we understand things are gonna be gay.
Guys hug. It's all good.
Guys can hug.
LOL, they're gay.
Yeah, like nothing. It's not.
But yeah, no. When I went skydiving though, I predicted it right. Where I've always wanted to skydive so bad, and I finally got the opportunity. And I said, man, watch me go skydive, live, and then after that, like a week or 2, everything just seems bland to me because it's not as exciting as skydiving, and that is exactly what happened.
That's a problem. You get addicted, like, man, and then you just I need more, and then like what? Like then you're gonna do base jumping, where you just like jump off.
Base jumping, I am a little bit scared because here's the thing about with skydiving, like actual skydive. So you have 2, like, okay, with me with an instructor, we have like I think 3 parachutes altogether. Obviously you're going to deploy 1. If that one fails, the instructor has 1. If that one fails, if you hit a certain feet above ground, right when you get close to the ground, I think it's like 4,000 feet. There's an automatic reserve that will deploy if you get too close to the ground. So relatively, skydiving is safe. But base jumping, you only have one parachute. So if that one fails,
I don't know. I think it's all just spitting in the face of God. Like he made you with legs to be on the ground.
I want to fly, dude.
Like just fly. I mean, just like being in an airplane. We're just like we don't care about your laws. We do what we want. We go make submarines. We live underwater. Like we do so much shit. And then now, not only are we like defying God by being in a plane in the air, just a missile cruising through the air, and then we're like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking jump out. Like, what are you doing?
You know, some crazy dude was like flying somewhere, and then he was just like, I wonder what it'd be like to fall, like right now. What it'd be like. And that's how skydiving started. Not really, but
like dude, it looks cool. Like it looks cool. Or the people like those squirrel suits or whatever they're called.
Oh god, I want to do
wings
that.
And the under the arms and legs, like, and they're just flying through shit. Like that looks awesome.
I want to do that.
I would never do it. I would never do it. Hang gliding. Nope.
Almost any adrenaline thing I want to do, with the exception of bungee jumping. Like I can be talked into bungee jumping. I'm not super thrilled about it, but I can be talked into it. The only thing I will never do, I don't see the appeal, but people consider it adrenaline pumping. I get it, but still, is being in a shark cage and shark infested water.
I would probably do that.
Fuck that.
I'd probably do that.
There's only two things in this world I'm afraid of, and it's sharks and needles. I don't like needles.
And needles.
And needles.
Two very different things.
Those are the only two things I'm afraid of in this world. Like, if you put a syringe in front of me, I will freak out. And sharks. Like, I still have fear that one day sharks are gonna like walk on land and like fucking go havoc.
Sharknado.
I did watch that. That was a good movie. It was a silly movie. But no, no, I don't fuck with sharks.
No, I would. I think it'd be fine. Because you gotta you have to be bloodied or something for them to actually attack.
Yeah, I hear that.
Like you're just like they don't like you're just sitting in the cage, and they're just around. Like they're not gonna attack you. But like even like 2 years ago, we went down to Alabama, and Colleen and our friend did parasailing.
Nice.
You know, they're just off the back of is that what it is when you're
like you're at
off the back of a boat? Yeah. But I was like, no, why would I do that? Number one, when they were up there, they could see. Obviously, you can see all the water. They're like there were like 1 million jellyfish everywhere, which was also a problem because we're like trying to we just had a competition. Colleen did a Strongman competition too.
Nice.
And we're like, oh, well, I'm beat the hell up. I want to go relax in the water. And you can't because we're all getting stung by jellyfish.
So you actually got stung?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I'm like, like the back of my leg is burning. What the hell is that? There's jellyfish everywhere. So it's not like any of the super dangerous ones.
Yeah.
So what we ended up doing, I met this 8-year-old kid named Maximus. And me and this
badass name.
We were just collecting jellyfish out of the water and then burying them on the beach. We did that for an hour. It helped nothing because they're everywhere. And so when Colleen and Brittany were parasailing, they do that thing where they slow down a little bit so you drop your butts in the water or whatever. Mm-hmm. But they're like, don't do that. There's jellyfish everywhere. But I was watching this video and I want to say it was in the Gulf or something, but there was a storm and they couldn't get the sail back down because the winds were too strong. The fucking thing broke off.
Are you serious?
They went they were videoing it and then the dude was on the hotel balcony and then just they flew away. The wind carried them into the town, away from the ocean. He's like, oh, he's fucking gone, dude. What? I need to follow up and see what actually happened.
Yeah.
I would I would be terrified.
Oh my god.
I can't even imagine what happened. I guess he technically has on like a parachute,
Yeah.
kind of, but like the wind's so strong, it literally, like, he just was like floating away. Like the cable snapped and all that. I was like, no way. I don't trust Ferris wheels. I mean, number one, like, just being a big guy, like, I don't trust the structural integrity of anything. Like, I'm like, what's the weight limit on this thing? Like 500 pounds. Like, no. Like, it's rusty. I don't want to, like, anything at the fair. Like, I don't.
No, I don't trust the fucking fair where they build that equipment.
No,
and
you
like,
just put it up, and
yeah,
I can see you. I don't trust you.
Yeah, no.
I don't think you're an engineer.
Yeah, like, there's a different. I mean, I'm not super crazy about roller coasters, but there's a difference between like riding one at Six Flags that's been there, they do maintenance every day, versus one at fair where they put it up in like one day. I'm like, I'm not. No.
And they got ones that like go upside down and sling you all over. And I think it was in Australia that there's that one that just kind of like swings around like that. Like, it has a bunch of people in it. And it wasn't like stable on the ground, and it was starting to like fall back. And a bunch of people had to get up on the front of it and like.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
And because it was like rocking back, like, you almost fell over.
Yeah.
And a bunch of bystanders had to like
stand
on it to hold it down.
Yeah.
Or like at Acrophobia at Six Flags, a girl got her legs cut off because one of the cables snapped.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't trust anything, man.
I did do the Acrophobia. And
I've done Acrophobia.
It's not that great, but
I'm terrified of it.
See,
I'm scared of heights. It's called Acrophobia. But I went one time and it was completely empty at the park, so they just let us ride it up and down like 8 times in a row. We're just going up, down, bouncing. It was fun, but I also hated it.
See, now I haven't rode Acrophobia since I've gone skydiving, but even when I rode Acrophobia for the first time, like around high school, I was like, this is pretty lame, because we were up there and I was super excited and I was like, whoa. And then the moment you drop for like literally like 2 seconds and then it starts to slow down. I get it. So I literally was like, yeah, that's it. But that was lame. And so I don't really like it. Acrophobia. And now that I've gone skydiving, I'm like, no. Same with the indoor skydiving.
Skydiving take?
Huh?
How long does it take?
So you free fall for a couple of, like, you free fall for like 30 to 40 seconds to a minute. Like, that's how long you free fall. And then you deploy your parachute at 6,000 feet in the air. And then you're just gliding for like 4 or 5 minutes. You can go down a little bit faster, but you could stay up a little bit longer, but around 4 or 5 minutes, you're just gliding in the parachute. It's pretty dope. Man, dude, it's oh my god, it's so much fun. And like the last thing I'll add on the skydiving, it's like it's such a surreal feeling. Like the first time I went, so I'm at the edge of the plane, like I'm about to go with my instructor. It's like once he pushes you off, and that's it. Like, yes, you're like, oh my god, I'm fucking falling, and it's exciting, it's scary. Like, it hit me. It didn't really hit me till like we fell, and then like we turned, and I was looking up in the sky, and I saw the plane. We only fell for like a second, and already the plane was so far ahead, and your mind moves really fast, and you just quickly realize, that's it, I'm falling. And yeah, like in a way you're scared, but like that's it. Like you hit terminal velocity and you're good. And then you're just like, might as well make the best of it. I got the video package and stuff, so the guy's like recording me, taking pictures and stuff. So right there, I was just like, I was dancing in the air. I was having so much fun. I was posing for the camera, and the view was really cool. And then they give you this like wristwatch monitor, and you're like every second you're dropping 1,000 feet, so you have to keep track of it. So the moment it hits 7, you're supposed to stare at it till it hits 6. Once it hits 6, that means like you're 6,000 feet in the air. You got to deploy that parachute. And so like deploy the parachute, and then that's it. And then it's just so calm. You go from like whoa to deploying your parachute, and now you're just like, that was nice. And then you just drifting and admiring the scenery. Oh god, dude, it's the best.
Yeah, that's all you do. That's all you. Like that, like not even like convincing.
No,
a little bit. Not even like, oh, like maybe I will. Never.
No.
God,
I want to do those military halo jumps where they're even higher. God, I want to do it where you have to have the oxygen mask. I want to do that so bad. It's so awesome.
No.
But so going back to your wedding, I wanted to mention this. So you married your high school sweetheart.
Yep.
Dude, that's amazing. That's not a small thing. Like,
it's crazy, dude.
So, like, if you don't mind me asking, did you guys ever had like a rocky moment where it was like you guys split up and then got back together kind of thing? Or it was like, no,
I mean, no, we've been together the whole time. At the end of next month, it'll be 8 years together.
That is fucking amazing.
I mean, obviously, like, our couple fight and everything.
Oh,
and
fighting.
Like, there was one time where it got close, and I don't even remember it. We joke about it because I was trying to be funny, but I was also being an asshole. And, like, I went to go get us Chick-fil-A, and I was like, I bought the Chick-fil-A, and then I thought she told me she didn't want the Chick-fil-A. I was just like, I was pulling up into the cul-de-sac. I was like, hey, look outside. And then I was just like, I pulled up in the middle of the cul-de-sac, and I just looked, and I just like threw her drink out the window. I thought it'd be funny. Like, I wasn't trying to be like, fuck you. Like, I just like threw it into the middle of the street. I'm like, like, there goes your Coke. But she got really mad about it.
Yeah.
And then I came inside and I put her food in the garbage because I thought she said she didn't want it. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? She didn't say that. Colleen doesn't really cuss. But she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, excuse me, what? And I'm like, you said you didn't want it. And like, I don't know what the hell happened. And so we were like yelling at each other, and our friends like in the living room, like, oh, what's going on? And like that was like close. Like she was like, "Oh, get out of here! Like we're done." I'm like, no, we're not. But then like immediately we like talk about it. We're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
So now we're like, oh, we almost broke up over Chick-fil-A.
That is hilarious.
You know, like I don't know. That's like the only thing, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
You know, and I definitely think because we've been together for 8 years. I'm actually Colleen's first boyfriend. You know,
that's awesome.
I guess, you know, and I mean, first kiss. I mean, like, you know, she did it right the first time. You know, as well. She ended up marrying me, so maybe not right. But no, dude, it's crazy that we've been together so long. And I mean, it's been pretty easy. And I think a good bit of it is like we haven't been like when my parents were dating, my mom told me like, you know, my dad never really dated anybody before, so she was like, you know, let's actually take some time apart. And like you go see other girls, you know, like figure out that this is what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out it isn't. But, you know, he went off, they still got married and everything. And me and Colleen haven't done that. I've dated a couple girls before Colleen. She's never dated anybody else, but we've been able to spend time apart. Like when I went to go live in Sydney or when I lived in Boston, she didn't come with me.
Mm-hmm. So
she was here. So we're able to live our own lives and still be able to do our own thing, but all still while being together.
Oh, wow.
And I think that helped instead of just being like on top of each other all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we actually had a lot of space. You know, when I was living in Boston, I mean, we tried to see each other every 6 weeks, but sometimes it'd go up to like 3 months without seeing each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was tough, but overall, like, it helped out a lot, I think, with our relationship. Like, we really understood being apart that we still wanted to be together.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a really big part of why it's helped us so much. But very early on, and this was like, my friends always ask me like, how the hell have you guys staying together so long?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
For me personally, I think understanding and communicating why I'm upset. Because I know when I get mad, like I've got a relatively short temper, but I like came to realize like I'm not like angry. I'm just upset about something. So communicating why I'm upset instead of just being like, well, I'm mad and you need to fix it. You know, like we talk about it and then we improve. Like we do better for each other. And like that's honestly I think the number one reason that has been able to work because we figured that out and talked and we hardly ever will not talk if we're upset. Like we'll be upset and sometimes we just need space. We'll always come back and be like, what happened? You know, where was there a miscommunication? What do we need to do to be able to fix that and have it not happen in the future? And sometimes it happens again, but we just still try to come back to it and
yeah, you're never going to
communicate very efficiently.
Yeah, you're never going to get rid of it 100%. It's just the normal part of relationships. So like coming near to the end of the show, like it like if you could give somebody advice on a relationship, because like I think what you have is so unique, because if you and I were best friends during the time where you were about to go to Boston or Sydney, and how long were you in Sydney for?
Just a few months.
Okay, but like Boston, you were there longer. You were there for.
I was up there about a year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. See, like me, I don't believe in. It's not necessarily I don't believe in it. It's just like if you're young, I advise to not do long distance relationship. It does help when you do have an expiration date to said location, like, oh, I'm only gonna be here for like a year, or I'm only gonna be here for X amount of months.
Yeah, we had no idea.
Oh, you had no idea?
No, we didn't know. Like I was, yeah, it was just really up in the air because I went up there for a job, and
okay.
like it was supposed to be expanding, and I was supposed to be able to like go around. Like I was going to be able to grow with the company, so I'd be able to have a little bit more freedom. But I didn't know if they were just going to keep me up in New England and manage all the northeastern locations, or because they were opening up down in Florida too. I was like, hey, like I'm from Georgia, like send me back to the South. And everything was just up in the air. Like this company didn't. They like it's a lot of the guys that were behind like Massage Envy, European Wax Center, Orange Theory Fitness, like a lot of those guys. So obviously they have success doing this, but when they open up this business, it's like they didn't know anything. So like I had no answers when I was up there. So it was just kind of like we'll see what happens. When Colleen was finishing nursing school, this was the date like what you're talking about is she was going to move up to Boston. So that was what we were looking forward to. But we didn't know what my future was going to be. So that was really tough. But like you said, there's a date. Like she was going to graduate and then come up. And then we'll live in Boston, be a nurse in Boston, one of the best cities to be a nurse in. But yeah, so that was how that was working.
Yeah. So yeah, because like if you have an expiration date to whatever, I think it does. You increase your chances for young couples, but like I was saying, like if you and I were best friends and you were telling me about this, like I would be that asshole to be like, hey man, like she's cool and all, but like I don't see it happen. Like if I had to put money into it, like obviously I want you guys to be happy. It's like gun to my head, I have to choose. I can't be vague. I can't be general. I have to pick yes or no. Do I believe it's gonna work or not? And statistics shows that it doesn't. So that's where I'm gonna put my money in. But it's one of those like I hope I'm proven wrong. And so it's awesome to see you and her. You know, you guys made a distance, and you guys.
I mean, a lot
married.
of people told us that. You know.
Oh, I don't
me
doubt
and
that.
her, yeah. You know,
so
like,
yeah.
Why
like,
would you do that? So when a couple months when I moved up there, after a few months, when she came to visit me, that's when I proposed.
Oh, nice.
In Boston. Because I was like, I want to show you that like I am serious. Like we're not just dating. I want to I'm very serious about you. So we're engaged for like 2 or 3 years, but
it happens. Yeah,
we knew we were gonna be together, and then now we got married. So there it is.
Dude, that's so badass. So, So for the last part of the show, if you could give like an underrated or whatever relationship advice that you would give to any young person out there listening, and then any advice in rugby/strongman, go. Do you have any?
Right on. Let's see. Relationship. Understand yourself. Because you can't, it's hard to have a union of two people when you don't understand what you need to be satisfied. So, like I said, communication also plays a big part of that, because you need to, I mean, it's like having a job, right? Like your manager needs to set expectations and you need to meet those expectations. You know, if you don't, then there's going to be problems. So, but the manager has to know what those expectations need to be, right? If they just keep coming up with new rules, nobody's going to be happy. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be happy like, well, this isn't what you told me originally or whatever. So you need to understand what's going to make you happy, what you're really looking for, but also be open to adjustment. You know, like be willing to adjust yourself. You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect.
The fuck? What?
Get nobody.
Out. What are you talking about?
No, like man, it's just so crazy where you see people now. They're like,
egos and stuff.
Oh my God. They're like, I'm good all by myself. I don't need to change for nobody. Like, no, you do. Yeah. Because if you want relationships to work or anything in your entire life, you are not perfect just because you are who you are. Mm-hmm. You know, some person doesn't like you. They think you're a little too bossy. Maybe you are. Or it's not because they can't handle you. Maybe you're just too bossy and you need to like lower that down a little bit. Learn to deal with that. You know, so understand yourself before trying to put together two people. Mm-hmm. You know yourself. Rugby, play it. Get out there. There's a bunch of clubs around Atlanta. You got to play. It's so much fun. I mean,
it's awesome hearing you be passionate about it. It makes me passionate about it. So, like, all right, you said
just I feel like I almost got you to come out and play before,
and
like you were
kind of like with the podcast story. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was just a bitch. That's all it was. I was a pussy. I was like, the little that I knew about it, I was just, and it's dumb because I did martial arts and I'm used to, getting my ass kicked every day. But it was the idea of tackling that I was a bitch about.
It's very different. I did martial arts for 10 years before I played rugby.
Nice.
So I was like, I get kicked in the face for fun. Like this.
I get kicked, punched, choked out, whatever. But like the idea of somebody tackling me was, I don't know why I was a bitch to that thought, and I was I'll fully admit it. And so that's really it. Like you came into the restaurant, you talked about it, you pitched it really well, and then I remember going home, I was on my phone looking at it, and I was just like, man, no. And then
after listening, if whoever listens to this, and they're like, yeah, but that one guy got his scrotum tore open, like it might not happen, but also might happen. But no, I mean, the camaraderie in it too. I mean, there's this.
There's injuries that happen in martial arts. There's injuries that happen in
everything. You can
enter profession
step off
here.
A curb wrong and you like break your leg.
Yeah.
Like, why not do something to make that happen? That's why I was talking to somebody the other day. Like right now I'm dealing with this knee problem. I went to the doctor. The doctor told me my knee looks like the knee of a 40-year-old. It's just like worn down. Like there's a lot going on, a bunch of shit in there. And people were like, well, why do you keep going? Like, why do you keep doing it? Because what else am I going to do?
Yeah.
Am I just going to sit on the couch? And because I'm going to deteriorate if I sit on the couch, if I don't do anything, if I'm going to have problems doing that. So why not actively do something and, improve my physical health some other way? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's going to hurt. Things are going to wear out. We're not made to last forever. Like, so why not do something and have fun? Mm-hmm. Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, people, the hardest thing about rugby, especially in the South, is just getting people out to play. A lot of teams fold because they don't have numbers. They can't get numbers out. There's a lot of good teams in Atlanta that guys that start on a social team and they get really good and they want to go play for those good teams instead of building up their own team. Mm-hmm. Now this team can't like bring in enough players and then they can't play anymore.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun. It's active. you beat the shit out of each other for 80 minutes on the field, and then you go have a bunch of beers later together. Like it doesn't matter. You go anywhere in the world, and because you're a rugby player, other rugby players will immediately accept you and help you out. Like the page on Facebook I was talking about, this woman was saying that her mom was stuck in the Atlanta airport, and like her sister wasn't able to help her out and couldn't get to her, and was seeing if somebody could like go pick her up, take her to a hotel because she's stuck at the airport. And yeah, they got it done. They're like, you know what? Yeah, we'll take care of you. We'll help you out. And just rugby.
That's
the
that's
connection.
badass.
So great people, great sport, great time. So and then I guess the same thing for strongman. Like just do it.
Yeah.
Like if you want to like just do something, like try it out. If it doesn't end up being for you, that's fine, but you still did something.
Yeah. So like right now, like if again somebody listening to this, it's like, all right, let's be a little bit more specific. Like right now, somebody goes like, damn, this Tristan guy, he inspired me. I want to do it. So like right now, as he's watching on his phone, most likely, what should he do, like, to try to get started?
Get off YouTube, Google search rugby in Atlanta. You'll likely pull up Old White or the Atlanta Renegades. Message that team. They're on Facebook. Every team has a Facebook page or Instagram or whatever. Just send that team a message and say, hey, can I come out for a run? Where do y'all practice? What time? And 100% they will tell you where they're at, what they want to do, where you need to go. And then you come out, just wear shorts, tennis shoes, like active clothes. If you decide you want to keep going, go buy a $20 pair of cleats. Somebody might have some extra rugby shorts for you that you can have, and then you're like on your way to playing. It's not like it's very inexpensive. Like you really need cleats and shorts. Like the teams have their jerseys and
bring your like non-broken body.
Dues. Yeah, break your body. Like build yourself up. And then same thing with strongman. There's not a lot of strongman gyms around. Growlers Gym in Canton, if we're all Atlanta area people. Holly Springs, Canton area, Growlers Gym, fantastic gym there.
Where do you train at?
I mostly train at my house.
Okay.
Harwell Barbell. We have an Instagram too. So, I've been trying to do strongman Sundays at the house, and then we moved, and now I'm injured, and so that got put on hold for a little bit. We're going to start picking that back up. And I mean, anybody's more than welcome. I've had like 10 people training. I had one person training, like it just, we make it fun. And then it's just, that's the appeal to CrossFit. Like you're with a group of people, you're all pushing yourself, and then it's the dopamine reward for like actually physically achieving something. And it's so much fun. Like I've got a couple stones or something in my house, and when I teach people to load it up and they like are struggling, but then they get the 200-pound stone up, and just because they need a little form tweak, and you're a lot stronger than you think you are.
Yeah.
And so you like get it, and you finally get it up there, like everybody's clapping and cheering, like everybody's proud of you. You're proud of yourself, like you just achieved this awesome thing. Like picking up a 200-pound rock isn't a small feat, like and it's really cool looking. It's great for the Instagram. So, like just get out there. There's Madhouse Gym down in Mableton.
Yeah.
They've got a bunch. That's where one of the strongest men in the world trains down there. He has the second heaviest outlet stone load in history.
Damn.
It is 565 pounds.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Never cease to amaze me.
And he's just a dude from Austell,
Yeah.
Just a little Georgia boy, but he is strong, and he's the nicest guy. Everybody, rugby and strongman, most everybody is super nice.
I can see that, yeah.
Like everybody understands like the work that needs to be put in, and
they're humble about it.
Yeah, there's a mutual respect about it. If you're willing to get yourself out there and put yourself through this to achieve something alongside all these other people, there's respect for that. So just getting out there and trying, even if, like I said, the heaviest log press I've done is like 325. That's decent. It's okay, but I train with guys that are doing over 400 pounds over their head. But if I get a PR and it's still 100 pounds less than what they're doing, they are fucking psyched for me. You know, so it doesn't matter if you don't think you're strong enough or whatever. Like, you do the best that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody will respect you.
Hell yeah. Nicely put. So where can people follow you and whatnot, if you care about all that?
I don't, but I mean, if you want to, I'm Coach_Tristan on Instagram, or Harwell Barbell is the gym page. That's rarely updated. Or at least follow the Atlanta Rhinos. The
Atlanta
Rugby League
Rhinos
team, Atlanta Rhinos. We are coming in for the national championship, the inaugural national championship, 2022.
Hell yeah, I'll follow them.
Dude, we've got a fucking squad. So I mentioned we had our games.
Mm-hmm.
We played Delaware. We beat Delaware, who's playing this week for the Amateur Rugby League National Championship. We beat them 78-8.
Damn.
We went up to play Cleveland, who's also competing in the professional league, and we went up there and beat them 64-12. And we left a lot of points off the board with missed kicks. So it should have been like in the 80s.
Jeez, you blew them out of the water.
And we're traveling them, like, we weren't even like playing the best we could play. And we like traveled light with not all of our guys, not all of our good guys. All
right, Mr. Bray.
We are taking it.
Dude, that's awesome.
We're gonna kill it.
Hell yeah. Well, man, dude, this was so much fun. Learned a lot. It's awesome hearing any of my guests. Like, that's why I try to bring guests who are passionate about something. It's so cool hearing somebody be passionate about it, because then it makes me passionate about it. Sometimes even afterwards, like when I'm editing it together, I'll like have one screen of editing and then another screen on like YouTube or something where I'm listening to either a podcast or an interview of somebody talking about it, just like you're talking about it. And it's just so cool, man. And dude, that's awesome. Happy for your marriage. Happy for your competitions. Atlanta Rhinos, definitely check them out. And I'm definitely going to have you back on, and hope, you feel better, man. But like, keep at it, man. It was a pleasure. Hey, dude, thank you so much for being on the show. You, man. Yeah, no, you too, man. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did.
Oh, for sure. This was a lot of fun.
All right, man. Well, that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you guys so much. Take it easy.